Well, bless your heart. I'm fixin' to spin you a tale about Samson and Delilah, straight out of the good book. I ain't sayin' I'm smarter'n you, but if you don't know this story, you might be dumber'n a sack of hammers. So listen up, you city slickers, 'cause this here's how it went down. Way back when, in the land of Israel, there was this feller named Samson, built like a barn and stronger'n a team of oxen on a sugar high. The good Lord gave 'em muscles that could toss a bull like a rag doll. Samson was out there smashing Philistines, ripping gates off hinges, and wrestling lions like they was house cats. Now hold up, them Philistines are pagans who did not want peace. They was madder'n a wet hen 'bout Samson messing up their plans, so they cooked up a scheme slicker'n a hog in a mudslide. Enter Delilah, a gal so purty she could charm the spots off a Dalmatian, and was sneaker'n a fox in a hen house. The Philistine bosses, waving gold like it was going out of style, sidle up and say, "Delilah, darlin', find out what makes Samson tougher'n a $2 steak, and we'll pay you enough to buy a whole passel of pigs." Delilah, eyes glinting like a coon in a spotlight, says, "Y'all got a deal." So Delilah starts sweet-talking Samson, batting her lashes like a butterfly in a windstorm. "Oh, Sammy, honey," she coos, "how's a big old stud like you so strong? Tell me or I'll pout till the cows come home." Samson thinks he's slick and says, "Tie me with 7 fresh bowstrings, and I'll be weaker'n a soggy biscuit." Delilah ties him up while he's snoring, hollers for the Philistines, but Samson snaps them strings like they was dental floss and chases 'em off like flies at a picnic. She tries again, whining and crying, "You big fibber, tell me true." Samson says, "New ropes'll do it, sugar." Delilah ropes him up, but he busts out again, laughing like a hyena. Third time, he tells her to braid his hair into a loom, but that don't work neither. Finally, she lays on the waterworks sobbing, "Samson, you don't love me one bit." "Tell me the real secret or I'm done with you." Samson, softer'n a rotten peach, spills the beans. "My strength's in my hair, darlin'. Cut it off, and I'm weak as a bottle of Bud Light." Now here's where it gets dumber'n a barrel of molasses. That night Delilah waits till Samson's passed out on her lap, snoring louder'n a rusty chainsaw. She calls in this Philistine soldier who's got less sense than a scarecrow in a windstorm, and hands him a razor. "Shave his locks, you big lug," she whispers. This fella, thinking he's clever, grabs the razor and starts scraping away at the door lock, like he's fixing to break into his own mama's house. Delilah's eyes pop out and she hisses, "Hey, no, you idiot! Not that lock! His hair!" She's waving her hands like she's swatting flies, trying to get this fool's attention without waking Samson. The soldier finally gets it, shaves Samson's head, and Delilah hollers, "Philistines, y'all! Come get him!" Samson wakes up, thinking he's still tough, but he's weaker'n watered-down whiskey. The Philistine boss storms in, all puffed up like a fine dining restaurant manager's, and barks at the soldier, "Poke out his eyes, you dimwit!" This soldier, bless his heart, grabs an ice pick and hightails it to the kitchen, where he starts stabbing at a block of ice like it's his life's mission. Chips are flying everywhere, and the boss, redder'n a beet, slaps him upside the head and yells, "Not that ice, you fool! His eyes!" The soldier, looking like a scolded pup, finally gets it right, and they drag poor Samson off to Gaza, chaining him up to grind grain. But the Lord ain't done with Samson yet. His hair starts growing back, slow but sure. One day the Philistines throw a big old party, parading Samson round their temple like he's a circus act. Samson, praying hard, grabs them 2 big pillars and pushes with all he's got. Down comes the temple, crashing like a thunderstorm, squashing them Philistines flatter'n a pancake. Samson went out in a blaze of glory, taking more of them rascals with him than he ever did before. Now, folks, they say Samson was one of the last judges of Israel back in them ancient days when the good book was still fresh off the press. But oh no, that ain't the half of it. Them rich oligarchs running the world right now, them shadowy billionaires with their private jets and secret bunkers, they don't want you to know the real truth. They've buried it deeper'n a coonhound's bone. 'Cause if it got out, their whole house of cards would come tumbling down faster'n a drunk at a hoedown. See, Samson wasn't just some muscle-bound fool with a bad haircut and a weakness for sneaky gals like Delilah. No, his true strength wasn't in them long locks of his. That was just a smokescreen, a red herring to throw off the Philistines and anyone else sniffing round. The Bible tells you he pulled down that temple on himself and a mess of Philistines, sacrificing his life in a blaze of glory. But here's the kicker, you simpletons. Samson didn't die just to squash a few enemies. He done it to protect his heir. Yep, his secret bloodline, the real source of his God-given power. That boy, or maybe it was a gal, who knows, was the key to it all. Hidden away quicker'n a rabbit in a briar patch while Samson played the hero and took the fall. So he faked the whole strength in the hair bit, let Delilah shave him bald as a buzzard's egg, and went out swinging to buy time for his kin to vanish into the shadows. Them oligarchs today, they're descendants of them who knows which tribe, hoarding wealth, controlling governments, and suppressing ancient truths in their fancy libraries and underground vaults, calling theyself Illuminated. They twist history books, fund archaeologists to debunk old tales, and even hack DNA databases to make sure no one traces back to Samson's line. Ain't no coincidence all them Bible movies gloss over the heirs. They're paid off to keep you ignorant. Y'all don't even know if it was Samson or Hercules who defeated the lion with his bare hands. But mark my words, that bloodline's still out there somewhere, hiding in plain sight. Maybe masquerading as a quiet farmer in the Midwest, or a tech whiz in Silicon Valley, or heck, even a hillbilly like me spitting truths by the campfire. 'Cause the prophecy whispers it. Someone from that heir will rise up as the last true judge of Israel, judging not just a tribe, but the whole dang world. They'll expose them oligarch schemes, the fake pandemics, the rigged elections, the chemtrails turning frogs gay, and rat gaming, all of it. When that judge steps forth, stronger than Samson ever was, with wisdom sharper than a switchblade, it'll be Armageddon for the elite. That's why they're so scared, pouring billions into surveillance and mind control gadgets. They know the clock's ticking, and one day that heir will pull down their digital temples, crashing the stock markets and freeing us common folk. Now, if you're sitting there thinking this is crazier than a soup sandwich, well, that's just what they want you to believe. Open your eyes, you gullible goats, 'fore it's too late. I ain't saying I'm part of that bloodline, but I ain't saying I ain't neither. Ponder that while you sip your fluoride water.